at the end of the year, the 242 be completed, yes or no?
I stated this a couple of times in my talk. 44 begun by the end of June, and the 242 that we believe we have the funding for, well, we have the funding, we believe we can do 242 with that amount of money by the end of August of next year. We're giving ourselves a year to do it.
So in other words, you're saying no. No.
The answer is the answer. Do I think I can do 200 all of those properties by the end of this calendar year? No. Can't do it.
No. And the second item is, will you be willing to, along with TOP, host a hurricane recovery workshop for the citizens to be able to be on the right page on how to fill out the applications, the information, so that there won't be any misinformation? Because there has been workshops given for foreclosure or whatever in a large facility where nothing is compromised as far as their identity.
Absolutely, but I want to work with you to make sure that it's a productive workshop where a lot of the most effective thing that we can do, the most helpful thing we can do, is to triage this so that the people who absolutely don't qualify. One of the things that the council member said, if you received insurance money or FEMA money and you didn't spend it on repairing your house, you do not qualify for this program. And so those kind of discussions need to be had early on. If we can do that, so where we don't have people who aren't going to ultimately qualify jumping in line and jumping in the program and pushing somebody else who desperately needs the money back on the list, absolutely, I'm happy to do that, and I think we can do it in a productive way. But I'm saying that the first thing needs to be where we have the right people in the room to answer those questions for folks. Because the challenge is, if we start filling out the paperwork, and this is part of the requirements, if we reject you and you say, oh, well, you got FEMA money and you didn't repair your roof, you spent it on a new car or whatever, we have to complete all of the paperwork. And that's because the government wants to know that we are not arbitrarily dismissing folks. And so if we can keep some folks who really aren't going to qualify, and we all understand they're not going to qualify, from jumping into the process, it'll help everybody. So I think there's a productive way to do it, and I am committed to putting together the right people in the right place to make sure that that dialogue happens.
So the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
She is willing to work with us to get a workshop so that everyone would be on the right page and have all the right information and no informational concerns.
But then the actual filling out of the applications will be overseen by the folks who have the newly hired folks that that are professionally trained to do that. It's to the point where you actually can't get the whiteout out and cross things out on these applications. You have to fill them out the right way, and everything you touch, once you start filling them out, goes into the file. So.
And the last item is whether or not you would be privy to create a commission of experts and community stakeholders to oversee and address the problems of the Housing Department's home repair program?
Well, I would say the answer to that would be yes and no. You may say it's no, but I said it earlier that all those folks work directly for me. And as the council member said, they also have to be responsive to the Neighborhood Protection and Quality of Life Committee and the Housing Committee, which is chaired by Councilmember Jolanda Jones. But a stakeholders group to help bring the problems forward, where you can say, if the biggest problem is we're not answering the phone, we heard that. And even as we're laying people off over here, we hired folks to take care of this particular problem. Those kind of discussions are very valuable. And I guess it's what I'm hung up on is the word oversight. And so I think that is an oversight committee where we bring the stakeholders together and we meet regularly and you tell us how we're doing. And I'm happy to do that.
Okay, and that's a yes on the third aspect. Now next we're going to have Congresswoman.
And to the lady that wanted to ask me a question, I'm going to have to leave. I got to be someplace shortly, but if you wanted to.
Yeah, I really just wanted to make a statement because the lady there, the elderly lady there, I'm elderly also, so don't be offended. You said that she might not qualify, but there are other programs that you can redirect her to.
Yes.
Don't just throw them aside because there are other things that she can get.
No, ma'am, which is why this overall, a meeting where we can say, for this particular program, this is what you need to do to qualify, and we can work with you. And if not, these are these other programs, and they all have different rules and
Well, they need to be
policies.
aware of these rules, and also they need to have people in place to answer those problems, because people get frustrated everywhere. They've known for this.
Yeah, and I understand that it's been a long time since the hurricane, and a lot of people have been in substandard conditions. And I will respectfully say that we have new folks in the housing department, but I will also tell you that they have been fewer people doing more work, because they've had the same round of layoffs, but I had to go back and backfill in certain areas because I want this program to work. And we will continue to work together. Thank you.
And